Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. This is your Tuesday lighting critique. We have one submission today. We've got Jenny's animated shot here. One announcement. So I will be posting this soon, but I'm working with the Foundry on seeing if we can do a discounted price for our students on a one-year student license of Nuke. So expect that soon. I will send you out the details once I get that, but we are going back and forth now. But yes, so Jenny, you are up. Okay. This is your first lit animated shot. Very cool. You did not pick the easiest of shots, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's difficult to light a character when they're moving into two different poses. I remember one of my first shots was something similar to this, and it's a very, very difficult thing because you have two, actually like three kind of very distinct hero poses. You've got this one here, and then that one there as the chest and torso are turned towards the camera, but the head's pivoted off to the side and then rotating around that way. So you've actually done a really, really good job of keeping the key light in a shape where it's kind of working on both angles, right? So I think that's working really well. There are some elements to this that we can improve upon. So I think I just noticed this. There's something wacky going on. If you just follow this line, this almost feels like a 2D track. My guess is that I'm wondering if this is a 2D track on the background and the character is actually just comped into it. Because there's a couple things going on that would indicate that. One is that wonkiness, but the other one is the shadow of the character. So it's not really matching the other shadows in the environment in a couple of ways. One, yes, the character is closer to the ground and therefore there would be less softness in that shadow, but there would still be some softness down there. Additionally, the bigger one is like the way that this shadow is interacting with the other shadow, because what would actually happen is, you can in the room that you're in, you can play around with this. Is you have when you have two shadows come together, where they merge, it actually doesn't get darker; they become one, because all a shadow is a blocking of a light. In this case, that key light. So it doesn't really matter how many things are stacked on top of it. It just gets the same level of darkness. Again, it will get a little bit darker if you block it closer to the ground, because there's less area for fill light to bounce in there. But to see like this kind of distinct line isn't really indicative of the way that would react. So the notes to hit for that would be to soften and cool your shadow a little bit, and then because in here it just kind of gets really gray. And what that makes me think is that this is like a shadow pass and you're actually color correcting a warmer thing and trying to get it cooler, and all that's kind of happening is it's washing out to gray. So just something to be aware of there. In terms of, there's a couple things too, I noticed this, actually let me go back a frame. So the foot is very black there. And then like on one frame it kind of pops out. Actually, it's a few frames, but it really, like when you watch it in motion, it kind of really pops. And then when you turn, you've got some darkness on the back of the foot. So it's fine that there's a gradient there, because I think that's actually working really well. But you just want to minimize that darkness a little bit. The hands could lose a little bit of saturation on there, unless he's wearing gloves that matches his face. In which case I think that might be okay. But if it's like his natural hand color, it's a little bit too saturated. Just a few other things about. So I mentioned the position of the key light is working really well, but it does, and this is just the difficulty of white fur, is like it's getting very blown out at times. And that's nothing against you, because you're actually doing a really nice job of balancing the shadow color. Like I think the shadow color is working pretty well. There's some coolness to it. It's not graying out. It's just in the warmth. I would because you're already going to have to increase the radius of the light to get the shadow to be a little bit softer. And what's going to happen is the light quality is going to soften, and then you can take down the intensity a little bit, and it should all work out. Teeth are good and bright, but just a little bit too, the two front teeth are a little too bright when they pivot. So I would color correct that down a little bit. And then another big note for me is I would like, for my own sake, to just have anything, like, I want to darken what's in here, because I think it'll help read the character a little bit more. I want to like, and then I almost want to make him kind of emerging from the shadow a little bit, because his consistency of light, like, you could make it a little more dynamic by making a little bit more shadow, maybe not that far out, but like his first couple of steps, he's like in shadow, and then he steps out, and then he rotates and goes. This might just be an illusion thing, but this light, the volumetric light here, doesn't seem to be moving in 3D space, but that could just be my brain playing tricks on me. And then I would also, so I like the shadow value of this background. I just want to see a little, like, if you can get a little vignetting over here, just in this kind of the shadow areas, just to darken it down to get this to focus in there. And then additionally, let's see what else. The subsurface on his ears on a couple frames are going a little wacky. So just like right here, like this, it's going a little intense. I like that it's there, but it's just kind of glowing in a way that feels not like skin tone. It's or not like skin. It's more, yeah. It's just more glowy. So the other thing, let's see, would maybe get a little more bounce up under his unmentionable region, up underneath here, just because there's so much light hitting there. It would be nice to really kind of fill that in. But yeah, no, I mean, in terms of a first time lighting a character, this is incredibly good. You should feel very good about this. If we were lighting our first character shots at the same time, I would be very embarrassed to show mine compared to this. So a really good job. And yeah, keep going with it. I can't wait to see more updates. If you have questions about anything that I gave feedback on, definitely let me know, and I will make sure to clear that up. So thank you again for posting, and keep going, keep lighting, and really well done, Jenny.